everybody, I'm here to tell you how you can listen to your stomach, what you can do to help you realize that your stomach is trying to tell you something. It wants to tap into the reserves. It wants to tap into the fat. It wants to use that. It doesn't want to overeat anymore. It wants to be in balance. And you gotta help it be in balance, right? When you're eating, there's a point that your stomach will breathe. I'm not talking about your lungs. We do that all the time, right? We breathe normally, but there's a point when you're eating that you can actually feel your stomach breathing. That's when, when we eat too much, like, we have a big meal and we're like, oh man, I'm so full, like you feel your stomach breathing. That's what I'm talking about. But there's a subtlety to it. Don't let it get to the point where you're like, wow, I ate so full. That's like the ending. That's your stomach is like screaming at you, stop feeding me. I'm full. I'm totally stretched. You want to be able to eat just enough so that your body will start using its fat reserves, right? So remember, our stomach is the size of our fist or the size of our palm. That's not very much. If you think about it, how much food can fit in there? Not very much food. So you got to remember that, don't be afraid to eat a little. The more overweight you are, the more your body is going to be signaling that it's full sooner because it wants to tap into those reserves, right? So when you're eating, sometimes that feeling, that stomach breath will show up later or will show up sooner. The body is different. The body goes through many changes and trying to rebalance itself constantly. One day you may eat a lot before you notice that breath, or another day you may notice you don't eat very much at all. It's just your body balancing. You just keep listening to that. For me, when I first started doing this, my body was off balance. When the environment around you is not in balance, it's very hard to listen to your inner signals for balance, right? So, especially stress. Stress it totally gets you off balance and you can't hear those inner messages being sent to you, because you're so stressed on the outside, right? The way that I learned to listen to my stomach when I had years of overeating and years of stretching my stomach didn't need to eat that much, right? So then you gain weight and all this kind of stuff. So the way I did it was first recognized the feeling. So I'm eating, for example, and then I'll breathe with my stomach. And that's like a big one. Sometimes the breath may be just a little bit. It's a breath that is more than your lungs breathing. It's a breath from your stomach, and that's your muscles. Okay, if I had enough, please quit feeding me. The more you do it, the more you start to recognize, oh, that was the feeling. Maybe you keep eating, and then after a little while, you'll notice a greater breath from your stomach. Then that's it, that there's another one. And the more you keep eating, the more you'll see the strength of those stomach breaths getting bigger, right? The key is to stop at the first sign. If you can discipline yourself, get rid of all the lies in your head that have been told to you for so many years. Don't listen to those lies. A big one for me was that if I don't eat a lot now, then in a few hours I'm going to be so hungry, I'm going to be ravaging, and I don't want to get to that point of, being overly hungry and stuff. And that is a big lie. There's so many lies that we grew up with. Maybe our parents told us, maybe because you didn't have enough to eat when you were little, and your parents say, eat now because you don't know when your next meal is coming from. Or finish your plate. It's so hard sometimes to not finish your plate. Like, wow, it's just ingrained in your head. You have to finish your plate. Oh, that's a big one. So I'm just trying to say, don't listen to those lies because they are lies. Just keep doing this. Try this for 1 week. Try to listen and recognize, first of all, oh, that was was it. That I felt that, that was my stomach. And slowly it's going to start shrinking and shrinking, and those muscles, because that's what the stomach is, it's a muscle. It's going to start shrinking and shrinking, and then you will be able to eat less and less, and your body will be able to digest that less. Is it not better to eat a small amount and your body is able to digest that and use it? You have energy from it. You have I'm not talking about dieting. I'm not talking about eating certain foods. I'm talking about you can eat whatever you want, but you have to listen to that signal, right? If you eat a meal that's very high in calories, of course you're going to eat smaller amount of it because your stomach will tell you, this is enough for me. Maybe you'll eat more of something that is less caloric. So your body knows, you just have to listen to your body. Okay, everybody, I think that's everything that I wanted to say. I hope this helped you. Try it for 1 week if you can, or just try to recognize it. Another important thing is that you don't want to eat a lot because it puts strain on your digestive system, and that puts strain on your messages in your mind, in your brain. Everything gets kind of out of balance, out of whack. So you want to be able to eat smaller amounts so that your body can use those nutrients in those small amounts, instead of eating a large amount that your body is just overwhelmed and it doesn't end up using all those nutrients anyways, right? So that's it. I hope this really helped you guys. Yeah, if there's anything anyone wants to know, I'd be happy. That's it. I think that's everything. Thank you, number 1 subscriber. 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 I love you. Thank you. Bye. See ya.